I'm Justin Boyd.
And I'm Brittany Pacheco, and we are the Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to the Watchers in the Basement. We are here tonight to discuss the teaser trailer for the Fantastic Four First Steps. That's right, Marvel's First Family is finally coming to the MCU this summer. Movie drops July 25th. And today is February 4th, as we're recording this. And Marvel Studios decided to drop on the trailer today.
Fantastic Four? Like February 4?
Yeah, February 4th. Yeah. So F4, there you go. Trailer dropped early this morning. For us, it was 7 a.m. The trailer coverage started at 6 a.m., which was pretty crazy for a trailer, but obviously I think Marvel thinks they have a really good movie with this one. And so you had this like, launch event, if you will, in Huntsville, Alabama at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. And you had the Fantastic Four cast was there. Pedro, Pascal, Vanessa, Kirby, Ebon, Moss-Bachrach, and what's his name? What's Johnny Storm?
Joseph Quinn.
Joseph Quinn. Just skip my mind. Yeah. But there you go. So they were there for the kickoff for this for the launch for this trailer. And yeah, pretty cool stuff. Let's get right to it. What'd you think about the trailer? And first off, as we're talking about this, if you're an audio listener, we're gonna have the trailer playing in the background. So be sure to check us out on YouTube. Give us a view, subscribe, like the video. That always helps us out. But we won't have any audio going, but we'll have the trailer kind of playing in the background as we discuss what we saw in this teaser trailer. So Brittany, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Well, real quick, Justin, before I give you my thoughts, I do want to give a quick shout out to those who are joining us in our live chat today. Shout out to M Moves, King B Johnson, Sedna. It's been a while. Thank you for coming back. And also Trisha, thank you all for being here so much. Definitely share with us your thoughts on the teaser trailer here in our live chat. And for those who may be watching the replay, we still want to hear from you as well. Leave your comment in the comment section down below. And I'm just going to go ahead and plug in subscribe, y'all. We're on the road to 500. And don't forget to like this video as well. And join us for our next live stream. Hit that notification bell. So, Justin, to get into the trailer, just to, premise or give you some preface, I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan. I haven't been since the reboot, which was sad because I like Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan. It's just I was bored out of my mind with the remake, right? I do remember, of course, the Chris Evans, Jessica Alba, etc. movies, but I wasn't a fan. I'm not a fan of certain Marvel characters. No disrespect. Please don't come for me, y'all. That being said, Trisha, I will not sit in a corner. Make me. Okay, make me. I will sit here and share my thoughts. But it's no disrespect to the production or anything like that. It's just it's not my thing. Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. Not my thing. Okay, but that being said, I was all for watching this movie because let's just face it, Daddy Pascal. Like Pedro Pascal is bae. Like I love him. He's doing so much these days. And I was like, okay, I'm interested. Let's see what happens. When I saw that Vanessa Kirby was cast, I loved her in The Crown. She was a wonderful Margaret to, for those of you who may not be aware, Princess Margaret is the sister to the late Queen Elizabeth. And Joseph Quinn, recently just saw him in Gladiator 2. Don't recommend the movie, but he was good. I will say that. And then Ebon, how do you say his name? The thing?
It's Ebon Moss-Bachrach.
Ebon Moss-Bachrach. I remember watching him long time ago, Mona Lisa Smile, and I thought he was great in that movie. So to see him in now like this superhero movie, I'm like, this is interesting. So open-mindedness, y'all have been here for a while. You know that I'm trying to be more open-minded with these movies, with these shows. I don't want to have any expectations, and this rings true for this movie. I do like the concept that this apparently is not in the 616 universe that we've all come to know and love. I do like the fact that it's also set in what appears to be like the 1960s kind of era, what have you. And for those who are watching, of course, on YouTube, we are playing the trailer to give y'all, just to match what it is we're talking about. Visuals. Thank you. Right. So I love the look. I love the concept. I'm still hesitant about the movie as a whole, and that's because of its predecessors. It has nothing to do with this cast or MCU or production. It looks great. I have my reservations based on previous films.
I think that's very fair. I think that's a lot of people probably have those same reservations, honestly, because this is actually technically the fourth time they've tried to do the Fantastic Four in on the big screen. I mean, technically, the first time wasn't really on the big screen. The movie never was even released. It was a Roger Corman movie in the mid '90s. Then you, of course, had, like you mentioned, the Fantastic Four movies from 20th Century Fox that had Chris Evans as the Human Torch and Jessica Alba as the Invisible Woman. I like those movies. I saw those movies in theaters. I enjoyed those movies. I haven't watched them, last probably 10 or 15 years, so I doubt they hold up, but I did enjoy those movies. The movie, the Fan Four Stick movie, the Josh Trank movie from 2017, 2016. I've only seen it one time. You're right. It's kind of slow.
Ooh, tough watch.
But this is a big move for Marvel to finally be able to bring these characters to the MCU. And like I said, by having a trailer debut at like 6 a.m, Central Time, or actually it's a little bit after 7 by the time it played, really shows you, like, making an event out of it really shows that Marvel thinks that they have something really great this time. And from what I saw in this trailer was like a perfect teaser trailer, because it shows you all the characters. We see all the Fantastic Four, of course. We see the villain Galactus. We see him briefly. We see some other characters, and we'll get into that here in a second. But we don't, you don't totally know what's going on with the story, and that's great because it's a teaser. You don't need to see everything in the teaser, but it was just kind of enough. It was like perfect. And what I really like about this teaser, I mean, there's tons of things I like about this teaser, but what I love about this is we're getting a team, and what we've been missing from Marvel in Phase 4 and Phase 5. And by the way, this movie will be the 37th movie in the MCU. It's going to hit theaters July 25th of this year. It's going to be the first movie of Phase 6. And what I like about this film is we're getting a team. And in Phase 4 and Phase 5, we really didn't have any teams. We had the Eternals, right? And the movie that actually comes before this movie is Thunderbolts, which that's a team movie, but that's kind of like, that's sort of like Suicide Squad, where you got these villains who are, thrown together and they kind of become like the good guys. But
I wouldn't say villains, anti-heroes.
Well, okay. I mean, yeah,
some. Okay, continue.
Yeah. But like what this is this is like a heroic team. This is, like I said, Marvel's first family. And because we haven't had an Avengers movie since Endgame, this is almost like kind of like this, like the first Avengers movie, but with different characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can build off this team, and somehow in this movie, like you said, it's in a different universe. It's in a retro futuristic 1960s. Somehow their world is going to be corrupted or possibly destroyed by Galactus, who is the eater of worlds. Maybe Doctor Doom does something. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation that Robert Downey Jr. is going to have a cameo in this movie, probably in like the mid or post credit. But somehow they're going to get, transformed, or there's going to be an incursion, and they're going to end up in the MCU that we know of, right? The 616 or the 1999 or whatever it is, actually. And so I think that, like, we need a team of characters to add the other characters that we have from Phases 4 and 5 around these characters to build up to an Avengers movie. And so I'm super excited. I loved everything I saw. The music was great. I love at the end of the song, it's like they say Fantastic Four, like this like booming kind of sound. And
yeah,
I mean, the cast is really
very
great.
retro.
Yeah. Very retro. You mentioned Ebon Moss-Bachrach, who is the Thing. Most famously, he's on The Bear. The Bear is a huge show for FX and Hulu. And if you're watching with us right now, you're seeing like he's with Herbie. Herbie is their robot, like butler friend, and he's in the kitchen with the robot. So I'm sure that they probably had him in a kitchen scene because of him being on The Bear, which is about a restaurant in Chicago. There's so much to love about this trailer, and I can't wait until we get some more stuff, later on. I mean, this movie's still almost 6 months away, so there's plenty of time for us to get some new things. But Brittany, one thing I wanted to mention I want to get your thoughts on it. We talk about how we see all 4 of the Fantastic Four, which rightfully so, and we see 3 of them use their powers. We don't really see we don't see Mr. Fantastic, Reed
Yep.
Richards, use his powers, which are, he has the ability to stretch his limbs.
Mhm.
And first off, did you notice that we didn't see that? And why do you think the reason is why we didn't see that?
To be quite honest, I actually did not pay attention to the fact that his powers were not showcased in this trailer. And that's something that actually Sedna here in the chat also pointed out. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth between our discussion, Justin, and then also what's in the chat. So to catch up real quick in the chat, yes, Trisha, some people don't like Guardians of the Galaxy. I happen to be one of them. Although the last movie, the holiday special, actually was the one that kind of like got me. I liked it. Third movie, tough watch, but actually was a really good movie. Sedna says, seems like they are really leaning into the comic and campy aspect of Fantastic Four. One thing the other movies stayed away from. Okay, good to know. For those of you who've been here for a long time, Frank, our fellow watcher, is like the guru of comic books here on the Watchers. Justin and I are not that well versed when it comes to the comic books in comparison to the TV shows and movies that MCU has put out. So I'm glad to know that it seems
I'm
like
getting there though. I'm
okay,
working on it though. Yeah,
okay, fair enough. King B says Ebon has Marvel history. It was either him or Dwayne Johnson. # rocks and things. That's clever. Trisha agrees. Reservations are fair. To you, Justin, Trisha also says Dom is out. There's a new family in town.
Wait till they cross them over though.
Oh my God! Please, let's
we bring the Fast family into the Fantastic Four.
Perish the thought.
That's the incursion. They end up in the Fast universe.
Not the incursion.
They have to help the Fast family preserve their world in order to make it to the MCU.
Yeah. And going back to your original question, Justin, Sedna did actually point out here in the chat, just before you asked the question, we see everyone's powers except Reed Richards. There has never been a good looking stretch power. Sorry guys, I haven't been like showcasing your comments here on the live stream. It's been a while since I've been on one of these things. My bad. But Sedna says we see everyone's powers but Reed Richards. There has never been a good looking stretch power. I wonder how they are going to pull it off. Now, I thought what we saw in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness with I was to call him Jim Halpert, with the John Krasinski, Reed Richards version. I thought those stretch powers actually looked pretty cool, especially with how Wanda just like completely destroyed him. I thought that actually looked pretty good, like spaghetti. Right,
she turned it into spaghetti. It's funny because we're watching the trailer right now, and they're making spaghetti sauce. But
exactly,
John Krasinski's and Reed Richards into spaghetti, and then Multiverse of Madness. Yeah,
right. So, I again did not notice under the first watch that his powers were not showcased. I wonder if that's just going to be like the big reveal with the bigger theatrical trailer that probably should drop. I would think fairly soon since this is the teaser trailer, but I'm curious to see how they're going to execute that particular style of power. I don't know. I'm going to pose a question to you, Justin, as well as everyone else in the chat. Like, has there ever been a good special effect when it came to showcasing Reed Richards' powers, aka Mr. Fantastic?
I think you cited the best one. I think the John Krasinski one. And
I think you're partially biased, but that's fine.
No, I think that's true though, because I mean, the ones with, I think his name was Ioan Griffin, I think was the actor who played Reed Richards in the 2000s movies.
Okay.
They were kind of, I mean, it was 20 years ago, so like they didn't have the technology.
I feel so old.
You mentioned Miles Teller, his version of Reed Richards. It was almost like body horror the way they did it. It was a different.
Well, see, I don't even remember. That's why I didn't even mention
it. Yeah. So, that's a good question, but I think they'll be able to pull it off. But I think they are kind of saving that for a special moment. And you mentioned, obviously that we're talking about the teaser today. From what I've heard, the Super Bowl is this Sunday, and Marvel is going to have a trailer for Captain America: Brave New World, which is coming out next week. They're going to have a trailer for Thunderbolts, which we've already seen trailers for these movies, and they're going to have a trailer for Fantastic Four. Now, I wonder, how much are we going to see on Sunday that's different from what we're seeing right now? And obviously, if you're watching during the game, they're probably just going to show 30-second spots and maybe point to, for the full trailer, go online. I kind of don't think we're gonna get a full trailer for Fantastic Four for a while because we got the teaser trailer today. But
that's what I was thinking too. Because if that was the case, then they should have reserved this teaser trailer to premiere during Super Bowl or leading up to Super Bowl, right? Because that you're going to get a lot of eyeballs on it.
I like the fact that they decided to do it today. I mean, not just because of the February 4th thing, but because
great marketing.
I think these movies, they're big enough to where they can have their day online, and that's what this is. Like, the hardcore people like us are the ones who are watching this online. Like, I was up at like 5:30. I was waiting because I thought it was going to like start at 6. I didn't realize they were going to have a kickoff countdown, like launch thing. So I watched all that stuff too. But like, I think it's good to have like a day where you just kind of can dominate the internet because the Super Bowl, like you could have the greatest trailer ever. The Super Bowl, there's so much stuff that can happen, not just the game, but the ancillary stuff that happens with the game or other commercials. And you can kind of get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Fair.
A little bit. So I think it's a good idea to have your own day, just like what they did with Superman. Superman, the trailer for that movie, which also is going to be a July movie. July is going to be crazy. We've got this movie. We've got the new Jurassic World Rebirth, which that trailer actually drops tomorrow. And we got Fantastic Four. They're all 3 in July. So July is going to be a very busy month at the box office, you would think. But yeah, there's a lot going on. And I think that it's good for them to have their own day and then have a little 30-second spot for the casuals who are watching the Super Bowl. And they're like, oh, there's a Fantastic Four movie, or oh, there's, oh, Captain America's coming out next week, or oh, there's a movie called The Thunderbolts. Like, I think it's smart to like market in both ways.
Going back quickly to the chat, Justin, Trisha agrees that John Krasinski had the best version in terms of showcasing Mr. Fantastic superpowers. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. Tennille Vickers in the chat says live action One Piece. Now, I'm not quite sure how. Are we talking about Reed Richards' powers? Because I have no idea how they would be able to do that. But live action One Piece would be interesting.
That's Tennille. If you're watching still, correct if I'm wrong. Are you talking about One Piece, the Netflix show? Because isn't there a Netflix show called One Piece?
I have no idea.
I am not a Netflix person. I have it right now. I got it for the NFL games on Christmas, and I haven't canceled it yet. But I'm pretty sure there is a show called One Piece on Netflix that was pretty popular last year, I think. So maybe there's a reference. Maybe that character in that has stretching abilities. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
hopefully,
we'll
you'll
find
be able
out.
to clarify if you're still watching. We hope you still are. And also to everyone, thank you again for being here, watching, sharing your thoughts, joining us in the live chat. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. We've got a lot of interaction going on. Tennille's back, says main character stretches. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So Trisha also says, Justin, that One Piece is a anime made into a live action show on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah. No, I've heard of it, and I know people really enjoyed it when it came out like a year ago or whenever it was. It's just something I haven't watched, and I really don't have a understanding of what exactly it is. So
I have Netflix, but I don't watch everything on Netflix, although I am looking forward to a couple things that will be coming out there. C Black, thank you for joining us, says MCU is still hiding Doom and Franklin.
Richards, that's their son. So
okay.
Yeah.
Shakman said other heroes are in this universe, perhaps Magneto and Charles.
Okay. Yeah, and thanks C Black for mentioning about Matt Shakman is the director of this movie. He, of course, of WandaVision fame. So that's why like this retro futuristic kind of 60s thing is like going to work really well with the stylings we saw from him in WandaVision. As far as like other characters being in the universe, I had not seen that, but that would be cool. I just wonder how much of this, how long this universe is going to survive. I feel like we're only going to get this universe for this one movie, but I do think this is going to be an interesting movie. And the fact that just as you watch the trailer, you kind of see different periods of times for these characters, right? So we kind of see before they go to space and before the accident happens where they get their powers from the cosmic rays. And then you see them, after they get the powers, and then you see them later on when they're older. And they're being interviewed by somebody, it looks like, or they're showing somebody the Baxter Building, which is their headquarters. I think this movie is going to be like almost like a greatest hits or a highlight reel for the Fantastic Four because I think we're going to get a lot of their villains that are going to be shown, like in, like not cameos, but in like smaller segments. Speaking of that, we saw John Malkovich was on the screen there. He's going to be a character in the movie. It's not listed yet, but a lot of people believe he'll be the character of Red Ghost, who is basically like the Russian version of Reed Richards, who ends up like he finds out about what the Fantastic Four did, and he ends up going to space to try to recreate the accident where he can get the cosmic rays and the powers the Fantastic Four have. So,
Got it.
I'm really looking forward to see how this movie plays out and how these characters get to, with the rest of our characters in the MCU.
Yeah, when I was looking up earlier on IMDb, the full cast, and I saw that John Malkovich was in it, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is like a whole other level of elite actors joining the MCU. I mean, John Malkovich is like one badass actor. And so I'm very excited to see how he's going to be incorporated into this movie. And if it's anything from what you just shared, Justin, then that might change my mind slightly about whether or not I'm very excited to see this movie or not. But
some other actors who are going to be in the movie in undisclosed roles are Paul Walter Hauser. A lot of people believe he'll be Mole Man, which is one of the Fantastic Four villains. And then Natasha Lyonne, who we heard her voice recently in What If season 3. She will not be playing Birdie in
Thank God.
the Fantastic Four First Steps, but we're not sure who she's playing.
That was rough.
There was a lot of speculation that she might be the voice of Herbie, the robot, but I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. And then of course we see Galactus, which Galactus is this massive character, this eater of worlds, and he's going to be voiced by Ralph Ineson, who I believe was in Guardians of the Galaxy also. So that's interesting, but we didn't.
Interesting.
We don't see his face. He's just voicing the character. So a lot of potential, a lot of big names in this movie. But Brittany, I want to get your thoughts on The Thing. But we talked about it a little bit. What we're watching right now. What do you think about how he looks?
Very heavy eyebrows, which I feel like in the other adaptations of Fantastic Four, I don't know, it seemed a little bit more proportional, I guess. And I don't know. All I see, like I'm looking at him now as we're, talking about this teaser trailer, all I see is just eyebrows. Like that's just it. Like very, very heavy eyebrows, large forehead, and then it's like a very small chin. I don't know. It feels a little disproportionate in a way. And I don't know if that's like a nod to more of like the comic book version of The Thing, or how it's like sometimes with the CGI characters, like take Mark Ruffalo, for example, who plays the Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk looks strikingly like just a bulkier, massive version of Mark Ruffalo in his face. I don't know if that's also what they were trying to do here for Ebon. I would hope not. But it's just very, all I see, eyebrows. That's it.
No, I mean, I think, I've seen a lot of speculation or a lot of like some of the criticism is people are like, oh, The Thing looks, totally fake. Obviously The Thing is not real, but it's a human being who is covered in rocks, right?
Like, are we really going to be that critical, people?
Right. Well, people are though.
That's
but
true.
The character, he's covered in rocks, and I know I've seen a lot of people comment about how his voice doesn't match it's like the gruff, it's like clobbering time. But I think that like we haven't seen him like in action. So like when he gets upset, I think we might have a gruffer voice. But I do think that him talking the way Ebon Moss-Bachrach talks actually makes it work better for the character, because Ben Grimm is this like tragic character because the Fantastic Four, they go to space and they all get powers.
Yeah.
But he's left with this affliction where he's this rock person, this rock creature. And his other cohorts, they have powers, but they look like regular people, and he's this like monster. And as we're talking about this, you were seeing like the clip about how he talks about how, like whenever he was, he was like this good looking pilot. He's this like former, like in the comics, he's like a former football player who's Reed's friend, and he becomes a pilot. And then obviously this happens to him, and, Reed blames himself because of, it's his idea to do this and all the calculations, and something went wrong. And he's constantly trying to figure out a way to fix it so Ben can have a normal life, but he never can do that. And so
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of Reed's struggle. But I think that having Ebon's voice the way it is, I think is better than him doing like a Batman or like a gruff, like, oh, it's clobbering time,
Yeah.
like I'm sure we're gonna get that, but like if you're making pasta sauce or something, you need to talk like that if that's not how you normally talk. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Brittany, something in the chat I want to talk about. This is a really good question from C Black. Higher box office, Superman or Fantastic Four? Now we've discussed this a little bit of the past few
Mm.
months. Because again, these two movies come out 2 weeks apart.
Yep.
Superman drops July 11th, and we have Fantastic Four: First Steps drops July 25th. So I'm gonna pose the question to you, Brittany. Which one do you think makes more money?
That's tough. Two different comic book
Yeah,
fandoms, and the fact that they're, like you said, 2 weeks apart in premieres.
right.
A lot of people are very curious, I think, to see James Gunn's version of Superman. And I mean, let's just face it, he's been a very successful director, given his work with the MCU, and then now having a lot of creative control with DC and rebranding it and just taking it to a new direction. That being said, I'm gonna actually probably have to lean more Superman. And I'm not like a huge DC
Mhm.
person anymore, with the exception of maybe Batman. But I'm gonna probably go with Superman does a lot better in the box office compared to Fantastic Four. Just because a lot of people feel a type of way with superheroes, superhero fatigue and that kind of thing. But I think because MCU as of late has been struggling with their phases and actors misbehaving, if you will, and then just trying to kind of piece things together, trying to make things work. I do feel like this is a good kind of kickoff for phase 6, even
Yeah.
though we had the Thunderbolts that's going to premiere before. But I think this is kind of like a refreshing intro to phase 6, if you will, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it totally does. And I want to pose the question to the chat. And if you're watching or listen to us later, let us know in the comment section which movie you think will do better, Superman or the Fantastic Four First Steps. So my thoughts are, Superman's my guy. I cannot wait for that movie. But I gotta say, like, I think it's gonna be really close, but I'm gonna lean Fantastic Four just because of the
Ooh.
Marvel pedigree. You have Superman is a reboot. You're kicking off a whole new universe
Mhm.
with James Gunn's Superman, which I cannot wait. Looking forward to the movie. But I just don't know. Like I know like if you go by like online chatter, like there's a lot more hate for Superman right now than there is for Fantastic Four.
Hmm.
Now that could change depending on what happens with future trailers or whatever. Like um for example, I'm sure people won't like it whenever they, learn that Julia Garner is going to play the Silver Surfer in this movie. They're going to have a female Silver Surfer. That'll probably won't be popular for a lot of the
Mhm.
same people who are bothered by Superman flying in his eyes or whatever people got bent out of shape about a few weeks ago.
People were hating on the dog. I'm like,
Yeah,
you don't hate on a dog ever, like ever.
yeah,
Like I'm here for the dog. Okay, I'm here for crypto.
yeah. I'm just a fan of like I'm a fan of all this stuff, and so like when I go to the movies or when I watch this stuff, I I want to be entertained. I want to like it. So you have to really go out of the way to get me to like go negative with this stuff. So you're not going to see a ton of negativity from us. I mean, usually if we don't like something, we're not going to waste our time by even talking about it. There's there's certain projects that we don't talk about like we used to because they're just
Please,
not.
please refer to Craven, or as you like to call it, Creven, the hunter, and
I mean,
Gladiator 2. That's
the-
why we
all
didn't do reviews on either.
and we'd planned on doing
We
both.
did.
Yeah, and it just didn't happen. I mean, I liked Gladiator 2 more than you did, I think, but I rewatched
I
it
liked Craven
recently.
more than you did.
You did,
So
yeah.
I did. Yeah.
But yeah, no, but just back to the debate about which one's going to do better. I think it's going to be really close. But I'm putting my money on Fantastic Four right now. That may change once we
Okay.
get closer, once we get this summer. But I'm looking forward to both. I'm going to see both these movies multiple
Well, yeah,
times in the theaters. I mean,
of course.
no matter what. So
And I think
that
you've got
they,
people in the chat who agree.
yeah,
So
they've
yeah.
got my money, but it's a great question. Appreciate it. Also, C Black, C Black is like a legend because I see this person commenting on all my favorite podcasts, New Rock
Oh,
Stars, Phase
cool.
Hero, Real Rejects. So
What a
appreciate you
legend.
joining us. Yeah, appreciate you joining us in the chat. It really it's a nice to see that name. It's like
Yeah.
Yesenia. Yesenia is also, I see Yesenia's name. She's on all these other podcasts too, like chiming in a live chat. So
That's
we
awesome.
appreciate y'all joining us and spreading the word, and all the people who are always here. I mean, really, it helps us out a lot. And
We're just a little podcast, trying to
yeah,
make it
trying to
in
make it,
the world.
trying to make it a very competitive space. But
What
this
was
is
the
fun.
tagline, Justin, when we first started? It's like we're not a large podcast, but we are a proud one.
Yes, we are a proud one, and so we appreciate everyone who joins us. And if you could spread the word, that'd be great. So, but anyway,
Yes.
back to the trailer review. Um, let's see, what else have we not talked about? One thing I thought was cool is the fantastic car, which the
Yes.
car flies, but in this scene we don't see it flying. We see it like driving through New York City like it's the Batmobile or something like.
It's like how I
And,
drive.
and yeah, exactly. Uh,
Thanks.
I thought that was cool. Like, any other thoughts from the trailer that we didn't mention? Any other like highlights you want to touch on?
I what do we think of the suits? So like the outfits that
Okay.
they're wearing? It's very, I mean, it's still the bodysuit, obviously.
Yeah.
That's kind of iconic from all superheroes, but the fact that it definitely has that 1960s retro vibe, which I know Trisha in the chat earlier, she's like, I'm like here for it. It's the vibe. It's really cool. Like
Yeah.
it feels authentic, is what she said. So yeah, what do we think of the costume of their team up gear?
Yeah. No, I think they look great. I think everything looks great, honestly. I think the thing looks great. I think the robot looks cool. The set design looks great. All this, I mean, this is a very like impressive, like clean looking trailer to me.
Yeah.
I, yeah.
Real quick, Justin, in the chat here, we were joined by John DeMario. I love everything about Ben, his look and the voice too. Hard on the outside, soft inside.
Yeah, very
That
well
is a
said.
great way of putting it. Yes,
Very
I
well
love that.
said. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your comment. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think that's something else about this cast that is going to be a big deal for people this summer. I think people are going to fall in love with these actors.
I hope
I really
so.
do. I think obviously Pedro Pascal is like, he's
Daddy.
like the internet's boyfriend, right? Everybody loves Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
Vanessa Kirby, obviously they got a very attractive woman to play the Invisible Woman, which they did a good job. But she's also really great, and in the other roles that I've seen her play.
Yeah.
But for me, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, like Cousin Richie on The Bear. I mean, he's the man. Like, to me, having that actor and knowing that what he'll play with Reed and like dealing with the fact that he's, transformed into this monster, and the love story between between Reed and Sue. And you've got Johnny who can, just flame out, or flame on and take to the skies. Like I can't wait to see this. And I think a lot of people are going to really like enjoy this.
I just wonder if this version of Johnny Storm is going to have as colorful language as the Chris Evans Johnny Storm did in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, you know what? Say what you want to about those movies in the mid 2000s, but like Chris Evans, Johnny Storm was pretty good. And like when he returned to Deadpool and Wolverine, like that was great. That was great stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's like really good timing because when this movie comes out, it'll be a full year since Deadpool and Wolverine. So I think it's kind of cool
Oh, wow.
to remind people about the Fantastic Four because they haven't really had a hit movie. A lot of people are not that familiar with them. I mean, honestly, I'm not that familiar with them. I mean, I've seen the movies, but I don't know a ton about it. My goal by the time we get to this movie is I'm going to try to watch everything I possibly can. There's animated shows on Disney Plus for the Fantastic Four from years ago. I'm going to do that. Obviously I'll rewatch the movies, and there's Yesenia. She loves the trailer. Great to have Yesenia as always.
Hey,
Join us for the trailer review. So yeah, I'm gonna really dive hardcore into the Fantastic Four before this movie comes out and try to know as much as I possibly can before the movie hits theaters.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm still gonna keep with my mindset. It seems to be doing well for me thus far, and that's to go into watching any of these movies with no expectations, because without the expectations, you can't be disappointed, hopefully. So that's kind of where I'm at, my mindset. I will definitely check out this movie. I am gonna go check out Superman as well, and what have you. So I did have a question, or I had a comment, and it just like left me, just like flew away. But yeah, I guess Anya in the comments says the best Fantastic Four movie is Pixar's The Incredibles.
There you go.
Okay, I'm unpopular opinion. Not a fan of The Incredibles.
Oh, wow.
That second movie was rough for me. Like, I remember watching it in theaters, and I don't know if it was like there was a lot of flashing lights, and I'm not like, I don't suffer from epileptic seizures or anything like that, but it was just a lot. Like, there was a lot going on and a lot of movement, and I'm just like, okay, this is way too much for me for an animation of any kind. I'm like, yeah. So sorry, Yesenia. Sorry, I'm a disappointment to some people. I know. Oh, look, I'm not alone. Trisha says she's right there with me. Yes.
Wow.
I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you for a reason. Yeah, King B. I was trying to sound like Zendaya, channeling my inner MJ from the MCU Superman. Shame on me. Spider-Man. Look at that. Disappointment free. Yes, trying to be disappointment free. It's not easy, but we're trying. We're trying. Fake it till we make it.
Well, I don't think we'll be disappointed this summer with either Superman or the Fantastic Four final steps. Or first steps. Sorry.
And fire.
There's all these like F words that not the F word I usually say. Yeah. That are getting kind of
Oh, I remember my question.
Go for it.
I don't remember, Justin, if it's already been announced or if you've actually told me or not, but mid-credit scene, post-credit scene, do we know if there's going to be one or both?
We don't know, but we can assume there will be.
What is your guess? Mid-credit,
I'm going to guess
both.
I think there's going to be a mid and a post.
Okay.
Because I think the mid. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think the mid-credit will be a continuation of whatever happens in the movie, whatever happens with the storyline. Like I said, there's a pretty good chance that, like I said, this is going to be like a greatest hits highlight reel for the Fantastic Four of this retro universe before they come to the MCU, to the 616, whatever the number. Yeah. But then the post-credit scene, I believe, will feature Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom. Now, will it actually show Downey, or will it just be like the face of the mask, or, will it be a shot from behind and see the hood? I don't know. But like, I think we're going to see that, because after that movie, the next movie on the slate that's listed is the following May 2026, Avengers Doomsday.
Okay.
Which, by the way, that is my most anticipated movie for the next 2 years. As much as I love Superman. Superman's my favorite superhero by far, right?
Yeah.
But right now, if you said you can either watch Superman or Avengers Doomsday, I'm picking Avengers Doomsday all day. Like, I cannot wait to see how Robert Downey Jr. becomes Dr. Doom. Can't wait. Like, I literally cannot wait to see that. And yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing we're going to have to get some kind of teaser, some kind of mid-credit, post-credit that leads into Avengers Doomsday in some way.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense. I was definitely going to just say post-credit, like, for sure there has to be a post-credit.
Yeah.
But it does make a lot of sense to have a mid and a post. So I'm going to pose that question to our audience here, our live chat, as well as those watching the replay. Let us know down below what you think Fantastic Four First Steps will have: a mid-credit, post-credit, or both. Leave us your thoughts.
Yeah. Good stuff, Brittany. Yeah, I think that about does it.
Yeah.
I think we touched all the bases there.
We sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
So, yeah. So, the next MCU thing we're probably talking about will be Captain America: Brave New World. The movie comes out as we're recording this. It comes out next week. So
crazy.
I will be seeing it on the Thursday night. So that's February 13th. So
yes. And
not sure exactly.
Trisha is also going to watch it as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, she's got like a company deal, like her company like
Lucky
rented out a
Ducks.
theater. Yeah, that's not the case for me. I'm going to a fan event though, so I'm looking forward to that.
Very cool.
An IMAX fan event on the 13th. So we will be reviewing that movie. I don't know exactly when, probably that weekend or the Monday or Tuesday after. So
Yeah.
be sure to join us. Also, I think at some point we'll probably talk about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which dropped its first 2 episodes last week.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, it's dropping its next 3 episodes. So
Okay.
this show is going to wrap up after just a month. It's going to be, I think it's like 2 episodes the first week, 3 the second week, I believe 3 the third week, and 2 the fourth week. So they're going to knock out like 10 episodes in 4 weeks.
Okay.
So we might do a season in review of that show. And 2 episodes in is pretty cool. Now it's not in the MCU, but there are some parallels to the MCU.
Nice.
And if you watch the show, you'll see right away. So I'm enjoying that. And of course, the next time we'll do a podcast will be after the Super Bowl. On Monday, we will do our Watchers Football Weekly, our final episode of the season, and we'll talk about the Super Bowl. Will the Chiefs three-peat? Can the Eagles pull off the upset? And of course, we're going to talk about Super Bowl commercials. So we'll likely be talking about, whatever we see from Fantastic Four, from Captain America: Brave New World, from Thunderbolts. So, and also the Puppy Bowl. If you're watching the Puppy Bowl this weekend,
puppies,
there's going to be a special Superman teaser in the Puppy Bowl, which I will assume will feature crypto heavily. So,
better.
We'll probably talk about that. And Brittany, you're welcome to join us for the football podcast on Monday because we're going to talk about half football, half commercials. So
we'll see. Trisha has a question for you, Justin.
Yeah.
Have you watched Daredevil yet?
So, Trisha, I've watched the first 2 seasons.
Woo!
And yeah, I'm actually on the Defenders series. I'm watching the season of Defenders. I'm only 1 episode in. I'm going to have to pick up the pace because my plan is to watch in order the first 2 Daredevil seasons, Defenders, then I believe it's the next or the 2 Punisher seasons, and the final season, the 3rd season of Daredevil. So I've got some watching to do before Born Again drops on March 4th. So literally a month from today, we'll get Born Again. So we've got a lot of Marvel and MCU coming up in the next month or so. And it's going to be a busy year for Marvel, as we talked about a few weeks ago. They have 9 projects dropping this year. So
that means it's going to be busy for us.
Yeah. But like I said, none bigger, I think, than Fantastic Four, the first steps. So
for sure.
Yeah. So I guess that about does it, Brittany. You want to plug away once more?
Absolutely. Well, once again, thank you everyone who has joined us for tonight's live chat and those who will be rewatching us. Please leave your comments down below on your thoughts on the teaser trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps. We'd love to hear them. And also big shout out to Trisha, King B. Johnson, Yesenia, C. Black. Oh goodness, we had a lot of people join us today, so I apologize if I missed y'all. John DeMario. We also had Sedna, who joined us as well, and then Tennille Vickers. Thank you so much for being here. It moves, of course. Yes, and she made a great observation. There were a lot of people in tonight's chat, and we love that. We love the engagement, so we invite everyone to join us for our future live streams here on the Watchers in the Basement. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, that way you know the next time we go live, and also don't forget to like us here as well. You can check out all of our social media. The links are in the description box down below. And if you're not into video podcasts, we've got you covered with audio podcasts available on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Be sure to give us a follow on those platforms as well. And tell others about us. We would love to grow our audience. We're on the road to 500 subscribers at present time. We're at 429. So come on, people, help us reach our goal of 500. We're approaching going into our 7th year doing the Watchers in the Basement. That's bonkers.
Late April, right? Or mid-April?
Mid-April.
So we've been doing this for a while. We would love to
keep doing it.
Get those numbers up, and we'd love to keep doing this a lot longer. So, we appreciate everybody from the chat tonight. Everyone who checks us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube later. That's also great.
Yeah.
So
appreciate
thanks to everybody. Yep. But thanks to Brittany also. So for Brittany, I'm Justin saying thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.